MZTV.
I am looking forward to seeing all of you this weekend in Mansfield, Missouri. That's gonna be great. I'm preparing things now as far as what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to be talking about this, that, and the other thing. I guarantee you I will touch on all three of those topics. From the edge of the bottom of the Floridan Peninsula, wearing sunglasses, of course. I'm in Florida. I mean, even though it's been raining continuously for 2 days, I guess that's why everything's green down here. So moisture is life. When people complain about the humidity, I say moisture is life. I like the humidity. I like that sheen of wetness all over me. This is Martin Zender. If some of you don't remember, I was in a series on Romans 9, 10, and 11 dealing with the nations. This is an important topic because very soon we're going to see God's judgment coming upon the nations for their unbelief. People ask, why is God going to even judge the nations? Isn't God at peace with the world? Isn't God conciliated with the world? Yes, he is. But I don't know if you've noticed this, that our message is not exactly reaching the population at large. Our message of God being at peace with the world, and he is. Jesus Christ saved the world at the cross. Very few are hearing that message now. Why? Because people are in their own lives. They're kind of smug and secure, living, eating, drinking, as Jesus would say, marrying and giving in marriage. So they're occupied with this world. They're totally occupied with this world. God is going to have mercy on them and stop that occupation. When the buildings start falling down and the hail starts coming in and a third of humanity is killed and a third of the fresh water is fouled, this is going to wake people up. So remember this. The judgment of the nations coming up, all the nations, including Israel, also known as the days of indignation or the tribulation, Jacob's trouble, it's ultimately to bring these people to attention. It's like, hey, there's a God. There's a God. It's an educational nudge. It's to say everything you've been leaning on your entire life is straw. And it's a wake-up call. We are blessed in that we have gotten the wake-up call already. This is another reason why we're not going through the tribulation. We've already gotten the wake-up call. It happens supernaturally. Because even while life is going la-di-da and pretty good for the most part, i.e. no 90-pound hailstones, we have come to a realization of the truth, and it's been a miracle. It's a miracle that we've come to a realization of the truth. We don't need 90-pound hailstones. We don't need the 200 million supernatural creatures coming out of the abyss, killing a third of humanity. We don't need that. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice that you're sensitive to God? God has made you that way. Other people, he's not made that way. You're sensitive to God. All it takes is a nudge. Yeah, just like that water glass I described yesterday that fell on Hunter Biden's laptop. Oh, sorry to bring that up again. Sorry. Oh, speaking of that, before I get back to Romans 11, yesterday, of course, was a political show. Every once in a while, especially these days, I'm bringing up politics because it's important in God's scheme. I only bring it up if I can relate it to something in the book of the unveiling of Jesus Christ, that is Revelation. That's not too hard to do these days. Why do I think that the current president of the United States is a good candidate for the man of lawlessness? Why wouldn't I think that this will be some kind of president or premier or king 500 years from now? Or why wouldn't it have been someone 500 years ago? Simple. It's the 6-1 ratio. It's the 6,000 years of humanity followed by the 1,000 years of peace, otherwise known as the millennium. I taught on this in my Revelation series, the final years of Millennium 6. The era that we're in, the era of humanity, happens in 6 days. And I don't mean 6 solar days. I mean 6 days as a figure because of the key in 2 Peter 3:8 that a day is as 1,000 years to God, 1,000 years as a day. Yeah, that's the way. It's the second thing. 1,000 years is as a day. God created the earth in 6 days, and on the seventh day he stopped. I ask people who think that Genesis is a joke. You got to be crazy for believing. You believe in Adam and Eve. Oh, how cute. Oh, how cute. You believe in Adam and Eve. You believe in the Garden of Eden. Oh, how cute. Yeah, I say, what day is this? This is what I ask them. This is what I want you to ask these people. What day is this? It doesn't matter what their answer is because you've got it covered. What day is this? They say, Wednesday. I say, why is this Wednesday? And they'll say, what do you mean, why is this Wednesday? I said, why is this Wednesday? And why is tomorrow Thursday? And why does a week start? Why do we have this thing called a week? Why? Why? Why is Sunday the first day of the week? And why do we start over again and go back to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday? Ask them that. Ask them that. This is what they'll say. Well, I don't know. Yeah, well, I do know. And you know too. God set it up because he created. He uncovered the heavens after the disruptions. After the disruption, he brought the earth back after the disruption of the world in Genesis 1:1, created by the Elohim were the heavens and the earth. Yet the earth became a chaos and vacant. Verse 2 of Genesis 1. And then the Spirit of God vibrates upon the water, sounding something like this. And he brings out the earth again, separating the waters from the land. And he creates now the flora and the fauna. I went to high school with them, flora and fauna. Nice girls. Fauna never went to the prom because she was so beautiful. Nobody asked her out. It was crazy. Flora and fauna. So God does this in 6 days, 6 solar days. Morning, evening, the first day. Morning, evening, the second day. Morning, evening, the third day. Solar days, literal days, 6 days. That's why we have the frickin' week. This is what this is why, because God created it. And why is people love the weekend? Oh, we can't wait for the weekend. We're going to have tailgate parties at the football game. We're going to lay around in our pajamas till noon. Love the weekend. Why do you love the weekend? Because God also stopped on the seventh day. He put on his pajamas and took it easy. He slept in till noon after the 6 days. That's why we have it. Now, if you extrapolate and take the pattern of 6 and 1, 6 days of work, 1 day of stopping, 1 day of, some people say rest, but Sabbath does not mean rest. It means stopping because God was not literally tired. I was being funny there when I said he put on his pajamas. Don't take that literally. Martin Zender says God wears pajamas. I wonder if he's got pictures on him like teddy bears or stars or planets, universes. No, he stopped. But that's the pattern. And so all we have to do now, since we know that Paul says in Hebrews, there's a Sabbath day remaining for the people of God. That Sabbath day, in this case, it's a figurative day, is 1,000 years. Again, using the Rosetta Stone passage, 2 Peter 3:8, that, 1,000 years is as a day. We can say that, if there's 1,000 years of peace coming, which there is, just maybe there's 6,000 years of humanity before it. And there is. There's 6,000 years of humanity. So if we can count the 6,000 years from Adam, the beginning of humanity, if we can count that time, and we can, because God provides all the numbers. I get into that in the final years of Millennium 6, then we can know what year this is. And the year is 5992, 5,992 years from Adam. That's why I know this is the time. This is the time. So therefore, I'm looking for a world leader in this time, not 500 years ago, because the years would have been off. That's not close to 6,000 years. 500 years from now is way over. This is the magic time. We're in 5992, 5,992 years from Adam. I don't know if it's exactly precise. You might give or take months. I don't know. But it's damn close. It's damn close, if not right on. By the way, 6 is a number of humanity, by the way, if you didn't know that. 666, yeah. The number of the beast. It's the number of humanity, of humanity. That's why God has given humanity 6 days, and as a figure, 6,000 years to gallivant and play and prove itself and disprove itself and try and fail on this broken planet in this vale of tears. And then when that's over, which is almost over, according to the numbers, according to math, coming from people who are smarter than me on math, I've double-checked their numbers, we're there. So that's why I look for a person now. That's why I say it could be the current president of the United States. Talked about that yesterday. Go to my show, MZTV 544. So God is still conciliated with the world and with the individuals of the world, but they need a wake-up call. We have escaped it by the grace of God, so that's one reason we don't go through the tribulation. I apologize for making so much sense. I apologize for making sense for a living, but if the tribulation is a wake-up call and we've already been woken up, why do we need to go through the tribulation? Yeah, I make sense for a living, that's why. I make sense for a living. The tribulation is a wake-up call. It's like if you're already running around making coffee, frying your eggs, getting ready for work, and somebody comes in and starts pushing you around, say, wake up, you better wake up, you better wake up. What are you doing? I'm already awake, don't you see that? So we're awake by the grace of God. The tribulation is a wake-up call. Why would we have to go through it? We don't. We're delivered out of it. Not to mention that we are ambassadors of peace, declaring the conciliation of the world. When God starts up again with Israel and begins this judgment period, he's going to wake the nation Israel up and the other nations. When he starts that, he's going to be declaring war, but it's for a purpose, and we have no business being on the earth, being ambassadors of peace. 2 Corinthians 5, we have no business being here when God takes up with Israel again. I'm going to show you that also in Romans 11:25. Oh yeah, speaking of Romans 11, I haven't gotten to it the whole show. Let me give you one or two verses before I check out here for today. Remember, Romans 11:20, Paul says, by unbelief, talking about nations, not individuals. People get upset about this. I covered that. By unbelief are they broken out, that is Israel, by unbelief. Yet you stand in faith. Be not haughty, but fear, for if God spares not the natural bowels, neither will he be sparing you. That he's not going to be sparing the nations today. The nations in general. The political organizations with borders and boundaries that have flags and mottos and national birds. These entities. He's not going to be sparing them, and I told you that is seen when all the cities of the nations fall. And then Paul says, this is a disturbing saying. I need to explain this to you in detail. I'm going to have to do it tomorrow. Perceive then the kindness and severity of God. Oh my God, people see that word severity and they get upset. Well, yes, God does do severe things, but underlying it all, again, is his big plan. God is love. So this severity, some people say that the alarm is a severe thing. The alarm in the morning. Brrr, very rude. When somebody pushes you, tries to wake you up, very rude. It's severe. It is sometimes. Changes in your life are severe. When you're trying to get into shape and you're sprinting down the road or you're on your bicycle doing your spinning or whatever, it's like, it's severe. It takes severity to make change. When you see this word severe, it just means that God is doing something other than kindness. It's an ultimate kindness, but right now, this is what it takes to make something happen for people who are stubborn. And of course, I know God made them stubborn, but this is how it plays out in real time. I'm going to go into detail on this tomorrow, and you're going to see that God has done this over and over again, but his underlying motive all the time is love. His underlying motive is to bring everyone to a realization of the truth. He wants to contrast the people to whom he gives grace now, to whom he whispers his secrets while everything's relatively hunky-dory. He needs to make a difference, a demarcation between these people, i.e. us, and other people who are asleep relatively, figuratively, who are just going through life like this, not knowing what's going on. He's making a difference between them and us. Doesn't he care for them? Of course he cares for them. They're snoozing. They put the snooze alarm on 6,000 times over the last 6,000 years. Snooze alarm, snooze alarm, snooze alarm. We don't need God, no one, nothing to do with God. Or we join a religion, in which case we still have nothing to do with God. We have to do with, it has to do with a popularity club. Snooze, snooze, snooze. Well, God's going to take the alarm clock and throw it on the ground. Oh, that's severe. Yeah, because he wants you to wake the hell up, and you will wake the hell up.
Thing that ought not